There we go. And you don't look anything like the Joker is scary wearing the, you have a little bit of the glow of a light, so that's helpful.
That's the screen, actually, not the screen's actually glowing me.
Okay. No, behind.
Yeah, I got light on the hallway so that the dog can be seen.
Yeah, yeah. So the Joker, holy crap. What a performance.
It was
holy crap.
I know.
It was brilliant. He did the like, he is not a real person if he can act like that. The dude, man, I thought he did a like. Do I like the story character? Did it make me feel warm and fuzzy? Nope. But it was brilliant. Backstory.
Yeah,
if you
shows you what an actor can do when they decide to act and immerse themselves.
Yeah.
His dancing and his dancing to violins, and he was like moving his body like a violin.
No, just he was stunning. Yeah, and it. I don't even like the character or the like. And I know a little bit about the DC universe. I think it's DC that Batman is, but it's like he was brilliant, and it was supposed to be like a bit of a backstory, and we got a lot of the answers. Like, what was Joker's real name? How did he become? And like, it answers all those questions, and it's still left a few to our imagination. And yeah, I thought it was really good. I don't like the subject matter. There's lots of stuff I don't like about it, but it was brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. It's such a ridiculously good movie. And it's supposedly when he crawled in the fridge, he did that on his own. That wasn't part of the script. He just started taking the fridge apart and crawled in and closed the door.
Like, I wonder if he had to like go a little crazy doing it. Like, do you immerse yourself into that character? Because it's not just a character you play for a day. Like, he's immersed in it, and like I think he's lost weight for it, and he's just he changed his body and everything.
Didn't just lose weight; he became barely a human being anymore with his contortionist stuff that he would do with his arms, and he would.
But the way he danced down the steps, it was just perfect. Yeah, no.
His smile when he at the very end, when he came out of the accident and he climbed on top of the car and he's looking around and then he touches it and you're going, oh, he's going for the blood and stuff because he's obviously got blood in his mouth and stuff. And he takes it and it makes a smile out of it, and then the blood makes the rest of his it's a permanent smile. And the same thing he did to the little boy when he was trying to make a smile on his face. Yep. Because remember, his mom said, you're going to make people smile.
Yep, he did. Well, I can say that part at the end where he gets on top of the car and the crowd is cheering for him, that's the only part that they kind of, I won't say they lost me on that, but I mean, if anyone was like, if the crowd had been following and one thinks that, you know, they were watching that what's his name, the Murray Franklin show, they would have found out that he, you know, murdered the people on the subway, and then he killed on screen, like while they were taping this, you know, beloved kind of Johnny Carson character, and they're all cheering for him. And that part, I really don't get the crowd. I don't understand them, but I guess that's like it.
You didn't get the whole madness of crowds, like sort of what happened with the whole vaccine thing, that the crowd
and looting and
and then they just go nuts. And so I think they were happy that he killed those people. It was a call out against the rich people, and so I don't know that it was. I mean, it was almost a justified killing. It wasn't when you're shooting people in the back, but they deserve something for what they were doing to him.
Right. Yeah. And I got that, but I didn't think that the crowd should have gotten that with, you know, so easily. Like, you can't shoot Johnny Carson on screen and later that night you have people going, yay, you, like that.
You're right. Except you're going against
I know,
anarchy, and you want that to unfold that way. And so I get the madness of the crowd. I didn't get they're walking around and lighting off little firecracker.
Yeah.
Like, oh, no. Don't compare that your rebelness in lighting a firecracker off to him killing the guy on the TV show. You're trying to say, see how rebellious I am? That's interesting.
Yeah. No, for me, it was just that thing was just a little too far. The other thing that I didn't catch, I probably would have to watch it again, but do I want to freak myself out even more? Maybe not. But who killed Bruce Wayne's parents? Like, I had thought it was the Joker, but
no, somebody else, obviously. It was
and I want to know more of that.
I don't think that the Joker did. I don't know if the story said he did.
No.
He said the story said they were murdered, and that's why he went to avenge the death. And the Joker was part of the melee that caused that problem.
Yeah, but I'd like to know who it was. Like, I wanted there to be a connection somewhere, but it's like it's almost like no, we're not giving you all the information. We're setting you up to there's more to this DC universe than you think.
I think was there. The connection was that he caused the havoc in the city that caused the death of Bruce Wayne's father. Yeah, and because that's the Joker is essentially his stepbrother, is what the thought process is.
Well, yeah, they tied that together so well. Like, oh, it looks like you are the illegitimate child of Bruce Wayne's dad, and it's like, okay, that wove together a story that just to me just sort of unraveled just a little bit, and then but no, I like his name, Arthur Fleck, just perfect, just little things were just done so well, and they left enough mysteries because, like, okay, he read the letter, and then he believes that now he is what's his name, Wayne. Bruce Wayne's dad, Thomas Wayne's son. And then Alfred says, no, he's not. And then now we don't really know who his father ever was. That we don't, because his mother was so crazy, we don't really know the answer. But there's just like the last scene where he's locked up in jail and he's talking with a psychiatrist who's supposed to be helping him. And he walks away with blood on his shoes like he's killed her. What? It's like, can you get any freakier? They didn't even have to show it.
I know.
They didn't have to show it.
I love that they didn't show it.
Yes, because you've convinced us he's crazy. You don't have to do anything else. And he doesn't it's almost like he doesn't understand it. Like it's the criminal insane thing that
criminal. Yeah. I mean, I guess so, because he's willing to murder somebody, and he laughs when things are really tragic and bad, and he doesn't know how to not think that's funny. Yeah. But what happened to him, I mean, even his mother, tortured him as a child, you know what I mean?
And let him be tortured, yeah.
At least that's what was said on the thing. Now, whether Bruce Wayne's father convinced them to write all that stuff in it to call her a crazy person, to manipulate that story that way, I don't know. I don't know if they settled that on purpose. Yeah. So you would have the question of whether that.
For a minute, I thought, what if Alfred's the father?
I did too. I did too. He just might have done her, and she was convinced that it was Bruce Wayne because he's got all the money, or Bruce Wayne's father, I mean. There's a really cool moment in the movie when I saw the movie the first time, and I'm really good with voices, like ridiculously good with voices. I don't know why, but something, my hearing's not even that great, but of somebody starts talking when he's at his work, and there's, when he goes in there, remember there was a little midgety guy, and then there was the boss, his friend, and the gun, and there's another guy sitting there. And his title is called The Stripper. Now, I don't remember a male stripper being part of any conversation or something, but that's what his name's Brian Callen. And he only says like one sentence in the movie where you see his lips move, but he's a little character off in the corner. He's sitting down. Yeah. There's another point when he's just talking. All you hear is his voice when he's in there. It's when they're talking behind him about something. And I didn't even see it. You don't even really get to see his face. But the very first time he spoke, when he wasn't even on camera, I went, Brian Callen. Oh, my goodness. Brian Callen's in this movie.
Okay.
I just knew his voice. It was so cool.
What do you know him from else? What else do you know him from?
He's been on a bunch of things. He had a whole bunch of TV shows. that, you know, pilots and shows that last a year. And he was in Kirstie Alley and her. Remember, she had her show where she's an actress or something. He was in that. He's also does a bunch of podcasts that I really like. He's been on Joe Rogan's podcast a bunch of times, and so I know him from there. And it's not that his voice is super distinctive; it's an amount distinctive, and it's so cool when I heard that voice and knew exactly it was him. And I look up the cast, and sure enough, it's him. I love that.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, I liked because listed second is Robert De Niro. So he will be the one who we have to find. He's number one because we can't have him have second, third, or fourth. He has to be number one so that someone else can be number two.
Yes.
So we will figure.
You could have him number two, so that
then we can't pick the second one.
I have to do another De Niro one where he's not number two. You know what I mean? Like you could pick him to be number two.
No, I think I'll be able to figure one out because I do like Robert. He played a good character. You know, this and part of this. Sometimes what I don't like about movies is when they waft between truth and reality. Is like the scenes with the neighbor Sophie. Like some of them were in his imagination and some of them were real, and then I didn't know if any of them were real. So there's just there's too much of we have to not suspend our questioning.
Real. What didn't you think was real?
Well, let me see. What wasn't real?
She went to the comedy show. He asked her she should come down. She's very lonely in her apartment with her daughter. And
the one where he's in her apartment and she says, leave. And I don't know if that was really something that had happened. And then one time she was very friendly to him and I didn't know if that one was real. Like, cause he had, a lot of these are his fantasies. So I don't know which ones are.
Anywhere what other things were his fantasies? I mean, he would show them out when he, you know, put his finger against his head and go, but I don't know that anything else were fantasies. He didn't, like when he lived out the fantasy of being on the show.
Yes.
And he walked around, but that was just him practicing like anybody would if they're going to be on the show. How do I walk in? How do I shake hands? How do I pretend I'm surprised? I don't know that that's a fantasy. It reminded me of Adolf Hitler, actually, because Hitler, there's some very famous photos taken of him when he was practicing his speeches, and he's like supposed to be like going like this and being an orator that would move everybody, and they were all practice photos. He would just do this and then they'd click the photo and he would do another one, and he would want to see what that looked like. And so when I saw him doing it, my brain went to the practicing of the going over the top to be animated at a high level.
Yeah, well, once they had the his imaginary thing interview that was going really well for him, then I didn't know which ones were real and which ones weren't. So I had to think, okay, this one is real, and then look, it seems to go a little off, so maybe it's not. So
I didn't think anything wasn't real in my brain. Well, like I never considered them all just to be fantasy. That wasn't where I
no, but some. I didn't know if some of them were.
Yeah, I didn't think that. So, but it might have been. If I look again, I might go, oh my goodness, that is a dream kind of sequence, and it's just his.
But you can't tell. That's the thing. They did it so clever that you don't know it really if it's real or not. So,
like the killing of the mother. Oh my goodness, I forgot that he did that. So when I watched it again,
put the pillow over it. It's like
he killed her. Oh my goodness.
And I don't know, I didn't check, but I believe he is in every single scene. Yeah. Like, I don't think two people are having a conversation that he's not either listening to it or part of it, or like he is just so in this movie. I like the line, I hope my death makes more sense than my life. That was, ugh. And they had it at the beginning and then at the end, just before he kills the guy.
I thought my life was a tragedy, but it's
yeah. Like I completely understand how the Joker now, existed, and it wasn't. He didn't fall in a vat of chemicals. People drove him to it, and he was crazy, and he developed into it.
Yeah. Ah, my goodness. It was. I love the use of the makeup and how he manipulated and put it on. I loved how he had the gun at the children's hospital, dropped it, and then started going, it was a prop. It's a prop. He had a good excuse ready to go. I loved that. That was, instead of getting, oh, yeah, it was a mistake, or I use it for protection or whatever. He turned that right around very quickly. Like, he's very, very smart.
Oh, and during the interview, when he's sitting there and he says, I goes to pull out, and he pulls out his book, because I thought it was his gun. It's like, oh, it's just his book. And then it's like, it was so unexpected, so caught off guard. And
oh, I know.
No, it's a descent into madness that we gotta look at that. And when he was climbing up the stairs, kind of, and then doing the dancing, he was climbing into madness.
Yeah.
It was just such a picture of that. And I don't know if I could ever have worked and tried to imbibe that character in any way. Like, hats off to that dude.
Do you remember Jennifer had to do something for school, and she got mom to act like a psychotic patient or something?
Yeah, schizophrenia.
And like, I didn't see it. Did you actually see her acting in it?
No.
Oh, okay. I just remember hearing that she went pretty nuts in the video, that it looked real almost. And
well, and I can imagine doing that for a time. Like, I can get, your job is to act crazy, but he had to do this for weeks, months to get all the film needed, and he had to do it over and over again because they didn't have the the things set up, and the makeup, and just the whole thing was just so freaky. And yet I was, in a good way, like the idea of the uncontrolled laughter, and he ends up being the Joker, and his mom wanted him to be happy. It's like, there's like pieces to a puzzle that we get to see the puzzle, and it's like pieces of a puzzle, and we've put the puzzle together now, and we go, holy crap, it's crazy. Yeah. And we didn't know that the puzzle would be crazy, but it's crazy.
Like when he had the his ex-boss and the midget come by his house to bring him some alcohol because of wanting to, they heard that his mother died, and then he kills the boss, and then the midget can't get out. It's a lot.
Can you help me? Can you help me?
He's got blood up. Joker's got blood all over his face,
splattered on him,
and he's going, "Can you help me?"
Okay. And then he lets him out, and that's where I thought, okay, that's how you got henchmen, because you have people scared to death of you and yet following you. Because when I think of the Joker, I think of the Batman, from the '60s that we watched, and where do they find these henchmen? And it's like, okay, I see the crowds, I see the people that he ends up meeting, and some of them are scared, but like the one from the '60s was pretty cartoonish, so that wasn't that, but no, it was good. It took me on a wild ride here.
Yeah, and the fear of that happening to you, and you see something bad, he gets beat up or something on the street, and you go, oh, what would happen if somebody decides to do that to me? And I'm imagining the revenge you would want at times, you know what I mean? Like he wanted revenge on Thomas Wayne, because that's his father and made his mother live poor, and she kept thinking he's going to come save her. He's going to come save her. That's what's going to happen. And not only did he not come save her, but he killed her. So the opposite of the thing that she was looking for in this world, he ends up being like, he's the most perfect anti-hero. I've always heard the word anti-hero, and I never knew what that was. That is an anti-hero. The opposite. He was a hero to all those people, but he's not a hero in the way we think of hero. He was the opposite of that. He did nothing brave. He did everything for his own, succumbing his own difficulties in his mind. And
but that's where crazy will take you if you allow it, I guess. It's like letting and I don't have thoughts that are anything close to that. So I can't, I don't know if I went crazy, if my mind would take me to a place that's really scary like that or not. But.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really, even when they did the rich people against the poor people kind of trope, and they're obviously really poor with the apartment they live in, and they went, remember he said, you don't understand my life. He's talking to the TV show. You don't understand what I go through. It's like you live in an ivory tower kind of thing, and you don't really get to understand, you know, what us people go through. And then they would say, what was the speech that Thomas Wayne said when he was going, I'm the one to save you. If I become mayor, I will pull you up by your bootstraps. I'm the only one who can give you what you need and save you to that. And I'm sitting there going, oh, that's why people get so mad. That's why the whole group would get so frustrated with people like that, is because they have that attitude of,
very
give me more money. I'm somehow going to convince you that that's the best thing for you.
Yeah, very polarizing and completely able to convince half of the people, and the other half say, nah, ain't falling for it. So I don't know that we're that much different today. In some ways, not with the violence being that bad, like, but still, you know.
I don't know. A couple of years ago, in
we had
those cities in the States that they would pull cop cars and turn them over and light them on fire, and not so far from
no, I know
that happening.
Gotham City.
Yeah, it didn't look like a town you wanted to live in.
No, I don't want to live in Gotham City.
It looked like the worst parts of New York. That's the thing in the other movies, the other Batman movies. They got darker and darker as time went on. When it was like Mr. Freeze, when Arnold Schwarzenegger played Mr. Freeze, it was the campy, and the Penguin was Burgess Meredith, and no, it wasn't Burgess Meredith who played the Penguin. Danny DeVito. Yeah, Burgess Meredith played the original one. But so there is the Batman, whether it's Batman Returns or whatever, there is one with what's his name playing
Heath Ledger. I think I'd like to try and watch that.
I've watched a bit of it to see how close it was to this, because supposedly he had an incredible acting thing.
Yeah.
And so I watched a little bit of it and I went, uh-oh, this is pretty good. This is not, because I'd already seen the Joker, but I was expecting that to be, so on a regular Batman, a 2 out of 10. I'm expecting Heath Ledger to be a 5 out of 10 and this to be a 10 out of 10. I think the Heath Ledger is like an 8 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. It's pretty freaking good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't a tick. I know. I have to talk. Like he's mumbled in himself. That same frustration you saw in this one, but it's louder. Maybe because he's older, but it's so much more pronounced of a tick.
Okay. Well, I love the idea that it was a laughing tick, and he had a little piece of paper that said, "I'm sorry, this is not my fault," that he hands out to people when it's inappropriate. It's like,
well, it's like the thing you hand out. I'm deaf. Will you give
help
me money?
Me? Well, and then this is just you know, like, please don't beat me up. I can't help laughing. It's like,
but when the cop had said to him, "Is that true about your laughing?" And right there, that question's pretty dire. You think he would start laughing.
Yep.
And all he said was, "What do you think?"
Yeah.
So walks away and hits the door. Because it was an incoming door. And he hits it. It was really, really good.
Yeah, like, and it makes you want. It's so good. It makes you wonder what was planned and what was in the script and stuff like that. Because I think he was so immersed in this character that he was probably able to add a whole bunch of stuff that they had. Like, no one can come up with this unless you immerse yourself in this kind of character. Yeah. It's certainly not a pleasant, warm, fuzzy movie, that's for sure. But I think it's worth watching at least once.
I saw it the second time, and I like it more the second time. Not really. I liked it the same. It was good to watch it a second time. It was years ago. I probably watched it when it first came out.
But I think that watching, you know, the Adam West Burt Ward it was like now it's painful to watch. It actually hurts to see how campy it is and stuff. But as a kid, we were just fascinated with the pows.
I don't think as a kid I could have watched this. This would have lows of you'd like that's how people are, you'd start to think, and it would be atrocious.
Yeah, no. But the camp, they certainly, this is not campy. And I don't know what the Heath Ledger one was first or whether this one was. This was 2019. So I think
Heath Ledger was way early. He was like 2000.
Yeah. So for him to be able to say, yeah, I'll take on, you know, Heath Ledger.
And take it to a really dark place. He made it so that this movie could be made. So I don't think they would have a Mr. Freeze or a Penguin version of this.
Right.
But because he did such a good job with the Joker and making him a character who's full of problems, and you want to understand how that got there. You understand how he could get there. This looks perfect that he now gets out of jail. He becomes an underground criminal and becomes that Joker in the Heath Ledger one. Yeah. To a T, it sets that up nicely.
Yeah. So this is almost like the prequel to the Heath Ledger one.
I would totally think so. Although they were still used to making the stupid slick Batmans, so some of it was the stupid slick. Okay. It was only Heath Ledger that pulled that out. This one didn't need to go there. It could stay dark, dark, dark. And
yeah, because the only Batman we saw in this was a little boy who saw his parents get killed. So, yeah, no, great story.
And Frances McDormand, she was the mother on 6 Feet Under. Frances Conroy, sorry, as Penny Fleck.
Yeah, did not see it.
And 6 Feet Under, I have it. It's on MB. It's pretty good.
I've been watching This Is Us on MB. That's love it, love it, love it. You'll have to get more seasons for me because I'm enjoying it very much. I heard about it. I've never seen it, and just love it.
Let me see if I can find Brian Callen in here.
You don't have to do that now. But
where's Brian Callen? Come on. There he is. So as Ha-Ha's stripper. So Brian Callen as Ha-Ha's. I guess Ha-Ha's was that place.
The comedy place. The comedy. Yeah. Where he's trying to be a stand-up comedian.
I know. It's so good because he's absolutely...
Like, I get the clown. That, you know, you can put on a thing and when you laugh crazy, then people think it's part of the shtick, and that's, you know, that's okay. But the fact that he didn't have a gun, some guy pushed it on him, and then he ended up being the downfall of him, and so that guy got his comeuppance is kind of good, you know, because he's, you know, part of the downfall. But the short guy, he didn't. Yeah. He got saved. But I love what he's trying to get to the door lock. Please let me out.
I would have found something, pulled over a chair and stood on it. And I wouldn't have asked him for anything. I would have gone my own way.
I would have dragged the guy's body over and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you.
Just the spray of blood, those number of sprays of blood that happened in that show with the head, with De Niro's head behind him, the spray. It was, oh my goodness.
And then he shot him again.
And then he also comes out and he dances a bit after he's done it and everybody else runs. How about him kissing Dr. Ruth Westheimer? It wasn't Dr. Ruth, but it was somebody like that. And he starts, and she's pretending, oh, that was great.
Well, she doesn't know, what do you do? But I love how Murray did use him. They were making fun of him, and he was, you know, Arthur Fleck had hoped that he would, you know, this would be the beginning of something new, and yet knowing that they're only making fun of him because that's all anyone does. Yeah. No one really loves him except his mother, who he offed. So,
yeah, but I don't know that she loved him. I don't know. I mean, if she treated him the way she did when he was a child.
Well, I don't know that she did as much as she allowed it. She had a boyfriend or something, is what they had said too. Like, I don't know that, but yeah, she was crazy, and there was neglect of him. But whether or not she was,
when she was in the bathtub and he's washing her back, and they're talking just like everyday talk. That was pretty cool.
Give your mommy a bath.
I remember when I used to wash mom's back,
Of
she would
course.
go in the bathtub, and I used to
But
do it. I don't remember how old I was when I stopped doing
you
that.
were not an adult, though.
No, I wasn't. I was probably, I guess I didn't do it on Upper Ottawa because I don't remember doing it. And so that'd be grade 5 in Upper Ottawa. Would I have still washed her back then? There's something in my head that says I went into the bathroom to wash her back early on. But would mom still let me do that in grade 5?
I was doing it then.
Yeah. Well, then she probably did get me to, because she was used to somebody washing her back.
Well, it's just, yeah, because you can't reach it when you only take a bath.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So you and the pillowcase aren't far away, are they? You're just a couple of years off the pillowcase for your mama. Good thing you moved further away. I'd have to protect her. No, yeah, no, that was something else.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can find something with butterflies and moondrops, and
because I mean, part of it's a test, because I don't really like most De Niro movies, because I think he's poorly cast. He's been doing movies lately just for the paycheck. They're just,
sure.
Oh, get a paycheck. Oh, we'll pay you $4 million for it. Go ahead.
Well, he did that with Barbara Streisand. And what's his name? Ben Stiller, or
yeah,
Meet the Parents, or
yeah,
no, something like that.
Yeah.
And then 2, and then so
he's phoned in a lot of them, so it'll be good for you to come up with one that you think will be challenging.
I've never seen Raging Bull yet. I don't know that I want to, though.
Oh, that might not be bad. Do I have Raging Bull?
I think so. Same with is he also in Taxi Driver?
Yes,
that's another one I haven't seen.
I don't really remember much of it, but I certainly saw Taxi Driver, and it was a very good movie. Where he is a bit like Joaquin Phoenix in that movie, where he's more solid, but he's got this little bent of something going wrong.
Yes, something is broken inside him. Yeah.
He's an Angel Heart, and I liked Angel Heart a lot. I don't think he wasn't the lead in Angel Heart.
No, so that's the thing is when you can portray broken people in a way that's not campy, a way that lets you into their mind without having to be so exaggerated in the music certainly played a part with this. Like, you could just hear what was going on in his mind. So that helped. But yeah, you don't need over the top crazy to show crazy, because he was doing that later on, but the wheels were coming off the bus right at the beginning. Oh
yeah, the crazy is in the quiet, in the thinking, in the movement, in the dance with the violins. Oh, I love the violins. Every time the violin, he would take his arm and he would hold it out as if to extend the music. Ah, I so liked his dancing. That taught you his immersion in the world that is in his head.
Yeah. I don't want to dance with him.
Okay, I will.
5 stars for Joaquin Phoenix. Absolutely.
I give it a 10 out of 10. It's a fantastic
movie. Yeah, me too. Yeah. See you next month.
And goodbye.